All right. You guys can see, I think, today and the little highlight moving around. Yeah. Okay. A couple head nods. Thanks, folks. I appreciate that. That's helpful. We did the freshman area rapid transit project started on Tuesday, and in the morning, right off, I think there was a quite a fair bit of confusion there. The videos that I had um, initially weren't great. They were from quarter one, and I tried to just reuse them, and I needed to make some changes. Um, the so we'll go through just a little bit to kind of review where we're at on that assignment, um, and then also try to set up uh, today's stuff. So come on, click on that thing. We're getting there. Clicky. Come on. Um, so some folks have already got it turned in for day one. Day two, no. So what we're looking at with this thing is going through and trying to do kind of a bunch of different steps in different days. Um, Day one was really just about planning your route, and it doesn't have to be anything special. Sometimes in the past, folks have really stressed out about what's a good spot to stop at. Don't let that stress you out. We just want to make sure that we're choosing a bunch of different spots and that we can go through and do some physics with the data there. Um, so day one was really just using Google Maps to find a bunch of stops and to get the distance from one stop to the next and the time from one stop to the next. Get all that stuff recorded, and then uh, be ready to move on. That getting that stuff recorded day one gets us ready for today and tomorrow. So one of the common questions that I got on Tuesday was if this data table that's popping up, a Google spreadsheet sheet. A common question was if you needed to enter this twice, and really you can just copy and paste stuff from this into that other deal. So once you're done entering data in here, you should be able to just select that stuff, uh, Control C, copy it, and then go to the slideshow, and you should be able to just come on. We should be able to just paste it right in here, so you don't have to like retype everything. You should be able to just copy and paste. Um, Once you're done pasting, or after you hit paste, Control V for paste. After you do that, it might ask if you want it linked to your spreadsheet or not. Don't link it. That'll probably just make things a little bit awkward as time goes on. Um, and that's that, and you're done. That was it for day one. So hopefully that all made some sense. Let's see. Clicking, oh, wrong button to click. There we go. So I am gonna try. I don't know. I think I tried this with you guys once. Uh, if you have questions, you can post them. It's available as an option in Google Meets for you to ask a question. I don't know if that's anonymous. From what I did some looking to see if it can be made anonymous. I see a couple of head shakes saying it's not anonymous. Um, I think it's supposed to be possible to make it anonymous, but I'll be darned if I could find like the actual instructions on how to make it anonymous. So, yeah, it can be anonymous, but it didn't say how. So if you have questions that you want to ask about day one, um, you sure can ask them there. So can you guys see that there's a question that's been asked? Yeah, and you can see who asked it too. Yeah, well, um, I'll need to take some more looks to see what we can do there. So the question asked is how many stops do we need? And anywhere between like 5 and 8. I guess if you really want to go with 27, I'm not going to stop you, but I'm not going to check 27. I think a minimum of 5 is sufficient to get the job done. Um, if you and I have had a separate conversation and we discussed something else, then you can just go with that. Other questions on the day one stuff? I'll just keep checking that. So if you have other questions, you can throw them in there. So uh, bloop. So going back to Google Classroom, the stuff from today. Click it. Today, we're going to have to go through and reference the data that you had from yesterday to work on our slides that we're submitting or turning in today. So today, what we're really trying to do today is just calculations based on our data from day one. Things are moving slow. My daughter's in a live class right now too, so all right. So excuse me. So day two, you're going to need the data from day one, like I mentioned. So it'll be helpful for you to either have the sheet open. Lordy, lordy, this is slow. It'll be helpful to either have this the Google Sheet open that has all the stops. Hey, there we go. So you had all of your stop data in here. It'll be helpful to either have that open, or if you pasted that into this table for day one, having that open would be helpful. Either one of those, you obviously don't need both. They have the same information. Um, so what we're going to try to go through today is using that data to calculate the velocity, the average velocity of the bus from one stop to the next. So this slide number 3 is kind of showing us how to go through and do it. And slide number 4 is kind of another example. You're not required to do anything really until slide 5, where there are then the spaces for you to enter your data. Excuse me. So really what we're just going to try to do, remember we've said this a little bit ago, that this triangle is the delta, or that means change in. So this change in position, and then you're just going to copy your data down, and it's change in positions, those deltas are always final minus initial. So if I'm doing stop 1 to stop 2, between those two stops, the later one or the more final one is stop 2. So I would say the end of the distance at stop 2 minus the distance to stop 1, and that's my delta D, which over here is 600 meters. And then delta T, or the change in time from stop 1 to stop 2, final time minus original time, 60 seconds minus 0, that goes there. And then over here, it's just you throw in what you get when you calculate that out. So these are really just gathering the data from your Google Sheet or from day one slide and subtracting to get that, and then dividing those two numbers to get that. Um, so the math part is just subtraction and then later division. So the math part is not going to be the challenge. The challenge is going to be kind of keeping track of what data we're pulling in from where. Um, so we'll see how that goes. The down here in red, I state that notice that stop 1 to stop 2. We end up doing the subtract 0, but and this is the only one that's going to be minus 0, because stop 1 is our 0 meter spot. After this part, when we move on to like stop 2 to stop 3, the subtraction here is not going to be minus 0. It's going to be minus some other number, because stop 2, see if I can make this, come on now. Stop 2 is going to be, oh, that's weird. My control plus doesn't work to make that slide bigger. That's annoying. I'll just do this. Or maybe I shouldn't have with the time it takes to load. There we go. The position at stop 2 is not going to be 0. For example, on this one, stop 2 was 600. So when we're going through and doing these calculations, it's going to be some bigger number minus some smaller number, but not 0. So stop 1 to 2 is the only one that's going to have a minus 0. Every other stop is going to be minus something else, like it shows here. Questions or concerns there? No, I don't see any more questions in the Q&A deal on Google Meeting, so I'm still keeping an eye there. If you have questions, that's where I'm looking. And if you want to send me an email, I suppose you could send me an email there too if you don't want it to all be out there. For stop 2 to 3, how do you handle the 100-second pause? That's a good question. Thank you. For stop 2 to stop 3, how to say this? I'm going to go to this table. There we go. So I'm just going to make up some numbers here so we have some things lined up so we can compare. You guys can see this Google sheet right now, yeah? Okay, thanks for the head nods, I appreciate it. This was included in the video for Tuesday, I believe. Some of this was. I'm just going to make up things, type some stuff in. Again, I can't spell. Fictional stop. Is the text large enough for you to kind of read or not really? Great, thank you guys. I was saying this is the first fictional stop and we're still at that fictional stop. This is the next stop and we're still at that next stop. So this row is arriving at this first fictional stop. I'm just saying that's like 600 meters away from the garage. It took 60 seconds to get there. And then here we're saying we're going to wait 100 seconds for people to get on or off. So this time would be 160 seconds, just adding 100 to that. And come on, enter. Oy. And then let's say the next stop is a ways away. Then we'd have that. And let's say that it takes another, I'm just going to say it takes, we get there at 345 seconds. Yeah. So that's the time it takes to get to the next stop. And then we wait 100 seconds for people to get on or off the bus. And we're still at that same position. Okay, so that's some setup to address the person's question that was asked in Google Meeting. So if we were typing this stuff in, the arrive position and the leave position are the same. That's we got to the stop, we're still at the stop, we're letting people get off and on the bus, and we're allowing this 100 seconds for people to get on or off. Some people chose a different amount of time yesterday, and I got a message from them if you chose that different amount of time to let people off the bus, on the bus, and you kept that constant, that's okay. 100 seconds is just nice, easy way to keep track. Now we go to the next stop, and I'm just randomly saying, hey, it took 1,000 meters to get to that next stop. We got there 345 seconds into the bus route. We wait 100 seconds for people to get on and off. We're still at that spot. Does that make sense? Okay, some head nods. Thank you. Now, when we're calculating velocities, we're going to be doing that from here to here. From the 1600, we ended at 1600, we left at 600. So our final minus initial would be, for the positions, would be 1600 minus 600. The final minus initial for the times would be 345 minus 160. I'm not including that 100-second waiting time in there. And I think this is getting to the question that was asked earlier. So how do we account for that 100 seconds in our calculation? The time that we're spent waiting for people to get on and off, we're not including that in our average velocity calculations. We're just doing the time from when we left one stop to when we arrive at the next stop. That's it. Okay. So then the 100 seconds from here to here, that will never be in any calculation. And this 1600 to 1600, that will not be in any calculation either. Okay, that makes sense. Some minor head nods. Okay, sweet. All right. Um, so when we're going through and doing these calculations, today is really, you're welcome. Today we're really just trying to go through and spend time doing these calculations to make sure that we have these velocity values for each one of those stops. The one thing that's I think nice about this graph, this position time graph here, kind of shows us some stuff pretty obviously, right? We have a sloped line and then a horizontal line. So this horizontal line for a position time graph, remember the slope is our velocity. So this horizontal line, our slope is 0. We know, hey, this is when we're at a stop. We know, hey, this is people getting on and off. So we know the velocity is 0 here just from looking at the graph. We don't need to use our data table and do calculations for that. And that's the only thing that we're really trying to work on today. Sorry, I'm jumping back and forth. My apologies. The only thing we're really trying to work on today is getting these calculations done. That's the only part of the uh, freshman area rapid transit project that's expected to be done today. If you're missing some work from earlier in the quarter, I would suggest then using whatever other time you have today to go through and take care of that. Remember, you have a view my work tab here. I don't have that. I can't show you, but that's the place you should be going to check your work. When I'm done with stuff, and I think I've mentioned this before, um, I return assignments to you guys through Google Classroom, and then I check. I get a slightly different view, or I have as a teacher that's uh, assessing assignments or scoring assignments. I have a different view that's available to me, and that shows me what folks have turned in and what they haven't. So there are some of these things that some people turned these in recently, so I need to go back and check those. Um, Please only turn things in if you've done work to improve your score. Don't look just at like the shading. If it's gray or if it's bright colored, do it. You turn it in. Don't use that. Check to see if it's been scored or not. And I try to, when I return them, I try to include a little message that just says, "Hey, scored and entered into gradebook." There you go. Um, I'm finding some people are just anytime it's a certain color, they're turning stuff in. So of these 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 assignments from early on, I'm going to go and check them because it's the only way I know if it's something new. But there are a few people that are just turning the same assignment in like 6 times. So I think these 7 things are ones that I've already gone through. It'd be nice if I didn't have to keep checking already scored stuff. So just a little plea for help. Only turn stuff in if you're reworking it. And I think that's, I better double check to make sure I didn't miss something off of the lesson plan, but I think that's the big emphasis for today. Here's the lesson plan. No, 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 no. Oh, I think somebody mentioned that on on Tuesday, pardon me, somebody mentioned that this class wasn't showing up in your Google Calendar stuff. So I think I have that addressed. So I think all of these live meetings should be showing up in your Google Calendar. If not, let me know. If not, one of the things that you might need to do is check your Google Calendar, and then off to the left, there's a little drop down spot where you can say, hey, make sure you show me this calendar. All right. Yeah, I think that's that. If you have questions, you can let me know. This video I'm going to also share or post in the lesson plan. I'm just going to post it right after the live class session thingy here in the lesson plan. So it's just always right next to the link for the live session. If you have questions, you can ask. If you're good to go, you can go. I'll stay on here for a little bit to see what we've got to take care of. Have a good one, folks. Emily, how'd the driving test go? Maybe I shouldn't ask that publicly. You got her? Bye, Owen. So I'm guessing the hand up meant that you passed? Congratulations. I can't hear you. Are you talking? I see your mouth moving. You're not muted, but I can't hear you. It's silent on my end, kid. Still no. Ah. Let's blame the Canadians. Congrats on getting that done. Next up, I suppose, are you, that means then you have your permit? Oh, good Lord. Help us all. Bye. Good luck. Have a good one. Hey, Sophia. How you doing, kid?